Hello, I'm John Aldridge and I'm watching the Redmen TV.
Hello and welcome to the Redmen TV on an evening that saw Liverpool pick up all 3 points at Anfield with a 1-0 win over Southampton. Before we talk about the game, and we will talk about the game, let's have a few of your Facebook comments. Hopefully a little bit happier than they were against Spurs in midweek. Anyway, Diarmid O'Connor, I've started well. Just, Lucas is our boss. Yes, he is indeed. Ben Martin Hughes says Lucas steadied the ship. We were immense going forward, especially in the first half. Just need to convert more chances. Enrique was class, as was Agger. No, fuck it. All of them were decent. Sterling was wasteful, but he is only a kid. Great point, great point. Simon Rivero says, I'll take it. Good to see Agger with the dagger. I don't really know what that means, but it sounds great. You know, rhymes and that. Joe Mitchell, great to bounce back and get a win. Thought we'd go on and get a couple more goals, but Saints never looked like scoring. Amazing to see Lucas back, and he was man of the match for me. You'll never walk alone. Very interesting shout. Who's your man of the match? Let us know in the comment section underneath. Alex Reed, a bit more. What's the word? I want to say downbeat, but not quite downbeat. Anyway, once again, missed loads of chances. 11 on target, 13 off. Something wrong, just scoring 1 goal. Why doesn't he try? Why doesn't he start Pacheco? A good natural goal scorer. Gerrard played well. You never walk alone. Out of interest in that game, where would Pacheco played? Let us know if you've had any thoughts on that. Yeah, Gareth Cross dominated the first half, slacked slightly in the second, but still controlled it. Just like the deadly finisher. I'd give Pacheco a go against West Ham, or even put Enrique up front. He's a man on form. He was a fucking monster again, wasn't he just? Yes. Francis Artusa to wind us up. Lucas proves we haven't lost Gerrard and that Alan isn't a crab. Brilliant. Yes, we've finally got a glimpse of what Liverpool's midfield should be. It's only taken the entire of the season pretty much so far for us to get a proper look at it. West Brom notwithstanding on the first 5 minutes of the Man City game. No, I thought Lucas Leiva, let's start with him. He was absolutely outstanding. I think there was... He's become I really worry that he's become a little bit too, like, we'd over glamorised him in his absence. Now don't get me wrong, I've been banging the Lucas Leiva drum since he joined the club, pretty much. Founding member of the Lucas Leiva fan club circa oh my god, circa 2007. Dear God. Anyway, it's just so exciting to have him back. No, I just thought he was excellent, but I was worried that, you know, would he come back the same player? You know, pretty much hasn't played football in a year. Now, I know he had a few games in pre-season, you know, and he was fit to start the season. It's another injury altogether. I think it's a thigh injury that keeps him out from then until now. But you do have that worry when a player has that long out, and you've built him up so much in your head, and we've been talking about this notion that when Lucas Leiva comes back, we're going to be a much better team. And you think, what if he comes back and he's not good? You know what I mean? Because don't forget, we're talking, go back to 2006, Momo Sissoko. Now, I don't think he was ever Lucas Leiva class as a footballer, but as an athlete he was amazing. But he started to really get good. He had that eye injury, and he was just never quite the same player again. And obviously ended up getting found out, made a decent career for himself. But he really, a few of us really thought he could have been a Liverpool legend for years to come, and obviously it just never quite worked out. Epitomised by, some of you remember it, a piece of control into Man United where he tried to bring it down and booted it 40 yards up into the air. But I digress. No, great to see Lucas back. He was, as Brendan Rodgers said he was going to be, and I think he said post-match, he was a platform. It was great to see Joe Allen getting further up the pitch. I'd be interested to know, I haven't had a chance to check this yet, that Joe Allen's pass completion rate's probably dropped a bit because he's actually up there trying to play more complex, more intricate, more more killer balls, which is great to see from him as well, to side with him, because you know so far the job for Liverpool's just been about maintaining and you know, recycling possession, keeping the ball moving. You can see how important Lucas Leiva was. If you've got the 4-4-2 stats up, I'm gonna have to get in touch with these and see if I can get some sort of sponsorship deal, because I mention them every week because it's boss. You look at the player influence section on that. It's got a picture of the pitch, and the larger the player's name is, the more influence they've had on the game. Lucas Leiva, first half, like Lucas fucking Leiva, like that, and it's like Steven Gerrard. But it's huge, basically, because that is the nature of that job, and we said this when we talked about this system in the first place. The Busquets role, everything goes through him. He's the starting point for all of our attacks, and he's the one where all the possession goes through, and he just did it exceptionally, considering, as I say, he's not played in what, like 2.5 months, 3 months. Absolutely outstanding. There were other players who played, many other players, 10 of them on our side. No, I thought it was great. I was interested. It was an interesting move putting Shelby out wide, although he didn't actually really play out wide. It was quite fluid, and again, very similar to how we played, and we've talked about this on the subscriber show a few times, how we played against FC Gommel at Anfield. Lots of movement, people swapping over positions, people not sticking to position. He's drifting inside a lot, particularly Glenn Johnson just played right wing. It was amazing. He was meant to be playing right back, and we got to see exactly what Rodgers has talked about the positioning of the fullbacks. This was just like on a whole, and okay, we didn't go out and snot them by any means, but it looked like the first game where we actually got to put out the team exactly like it was meant to be, our proper first choice, first 11 players playing exactly the way we wanted them to, and we got to see it. Johnson's just miles up the pitch. He's there. He stood on the touchline pretty much right wing, always an option. So many times he was free, and if we'd had a little bit more vision in midfield, we could have picked him out more, and we picked him out loads. You know what I mean? Same down the left hand side, I thought Jose Enrique was better second half, just once again just marauding past people for fun, absolutely exceptional. Couple of good shots as well. One particularly I thought was a good test of the goalkeeper. When nothing's on, his confidence has grown, and that's great to see. It's great to see people who think, you know, you get to that point because we can be a little bit too intricate at times, and that's always the criticism. Like, you think about to Arsenal sides over the years since that Invincibles team, they've been guilty of that. You get to the box, you overplay it, and the chance goes begging. Jose Enrique, it's great that he just thinks, anything on, fuck it, I'm shooting. And you know, that's what you need to see from Liverpool players sometimes, because it gets the crowd going. It's exciting. It was exactly what I said about Spurs in midweek. I don't think they were exceptional, but what they did is they shoot, and if you shoot and you force a save from the goalkeeper, gets the crowd up, and it makes you feel like, as a spectator, you're watching a game that's more exciting perhaps than it is. I don't think the game was not exciting. By the way, I think the way we played first half was just brilliant. There'll be some people, I had some fella walking out. I was in the cop. I was up in the back in the singing section, as it were, which was one of the best match going experiences I've had. I really wish ours wasn't so far down the front. But there was a fella walking out, and that's the worst performance I've seen in years. I said this in the week. If you think that Liverpool are playing shit, then you don't know shit, and you've not been watching Liverpool for very long. I thought that was just, you know what it was like? It was very much like a Benitez performance when we were good. It was like the crushing machine. It was just, we just strangled the life out of them, and the pressure, we didn't go at them like Spurs did to us in the week blitzkrieg style. We just slowly just amped up the pressure. And I just imagine it like if you've got an amp and it's got a big volume dial, and you just casually easing it up, and you don't even really notice it going up until it reaches the crescendo almost, where you score the goal and you realise that you've just battered them for a half. And Daniel Agger gets us just as it. Fantastic header from him. You know, we probably could have been 2 or 3 up, and it's a shame we weren't, but ultimately it's about getting 3 points. And I've heard loads of people say this week, because we put that Rodgers clip out where he talks about needing 70 goals, and we say, well, I'd rather win 1-0 every week. Yeah, fair play, and there you go, there was your 1-0 win. Goes back to it, and there was a comment there about Raheem Sterling. Once again, he looked today like a 17-year-old, and I think he's now reaching that point where we need to find a way to take him out of the firing line, and I'm only hoping that Sama Asaidi is ready to make the step up, because he looked a little bit raw. I could understand the justification for not giving him enough more Premier League minutes based on Spurs. He looked good, but he does look like he looks raw as well. But Sterling, you know, he has a couple of opportunities there, and just his final ball's lacking his composure, is not as good as it perhaps could be. But he's 17 years old. People talk about Maxi Rodriguez, you know, Maxi Rodriguez will come and he'd do a job, but at 17 years old, I bet Maxi Rodriguez made a fuckload of mistakes as well. So don't forget that. Anyway, yeah, Steven Gerrard as well, much improved from him, very much. I wouldn't say the Steven Gerrard of old, but he looked a lot more dynamic. Great to see him with the shackles taken off a little bit. A couple of comments made about Jordan Henderson coming on. Joe Allen needs a rest. He's played far too much football. He needs to be able to come off, and what's the point of having players like Jordan Henderson if you're not going to play them? Of course, Sahin, maybe, but also with a 1-0 lead, I wouldn't want to put Nuri Sahin in that position. There's an argument that he might help get another goal, but there's also an argument that he's not strong enough, he's not committed enough, particularly in that kind of game, that, you know, he's more likely to just be bustling off the ball and potentially cost us the lead. So no, I think Henderson's a good decision. Not entirely vindicated by his performance, but you know what, so what, that happens sometimes. Oh no, I think you've got to praise the entire team. Even Carragher coming on and doing a worldie as the holding midfielder, so Lucas to get his much deserved standing ovation. Man of the match, it's hard not to give it to Lucas just because of the euphoria of seeing him come back, but the player who excited me the most the entire game, again, Jose Enrique. I just love watching him. I just love watching his touch, his skill. There's one chance where he just rolls a player, like on Pro Evoites will know it as the Marseille turn, but not quite. But no, I'm going to give it to Jose Enrique again. Really accruing his Man of the Match awards as we speak. Anyway, thanks very much for watching. Do watch our subscriber show. It was good fun.
The thing is, again, this always comes round to it, and I know you've got to get something out of your money in that you're investing in the wages for Joe Cole. But I would personally, every time Joe Cole's got on the pitch, even though he played well, and I'll give him that, played well against young boys, I'd rather see Pacheco on the pitch because he's got 7 years on him, you know, and that's me, we're saying he's 23.
Here's a question. Stuart Arnold's being shoehorned into the team, Joe Cole's come back into the fold. Do we think that Rodgers thinks that they've got a future, or is he just shop window?
I think the best thing that we might have got fucked but helped out with the two manager things that happened, because I hope Rafa doesn't like Sturridge if we were going to be buying Sturridge, but we might. Di Matteo definitely didn't. So if Di Matteo was still Chelsea manager, I reckon we probably would have got Sturridge in January. So I hope Rafa doesn't complicate that for us, or just the sacking and the changing of the manager. But I think Harry Redknapp becoming the QPR manager might have been the best thing for us, because I hope there's a, and let's hope he's mental and Tony Fernandez are mental, and there's a nice £5 million bid for Joe Cole coming in.
Well, you look at the three players that we want to get rid of: Joe Cole, Stuart Darren and Andy Carroll, and they're all the kind of players that Harry Redknapp would buy on.
Yeah. We can't sell Carroll, can we, because they've got the agreement.
Yeah, well, you know, put an agreement in principle, like,
yeah.
You know what I mean?
But it'd be brilliant if, you know, Downing ended up somewhere and Joe Cole ended up moving on for decent money.
Well, the interesting one,
just to get him off the wage.
Well, the interesting one we hinted at earlier, Stuart Darren's been linked with a £10 million move to Arsenal. Where the fuck's that come from?
Really? I've not heard that one.
Please!
8 million.
Really?
8 million.
We hope you enjoy it. We're offering a 3 months trial to the redmentv.com, kind of like Netflix but for Scousers, with less TV movie shite on there, and entirely biased towards Liverpool. So yeah, over 100 hours, well over 100 hours of completely exclusive content for subscribers, so do check it out. I hope to see you there next week. Yes, thanks for watching, and yeah, we'll be back next week. Ta-ra.